The Atlantic hurricane season officially started just a few weeks ago, but already we've seen a couple of odd things happen. I'm recounting the life of Tropical Storm Cristobal in this week's Heather's Weather Wise. So far this season, we've had tropical storms Arthur and Bertha, and then Cristobal, which was named on June 2nd. So that's 3 storms one day into the official Atlantic hurricane season, which goes from June 1st to November 30th. Of course, nature doesn't follow a calendar, but that's one of the fastest starts to the Atlantic hurricane season on record, and Cristobal's early formation date isn't even the most interesting part about it. Cristobal actually started as Tropical Storm Amanda in the Eastern Pacific. Amanda was named on May 31st, just a few hours before it made landfall in Guatemala. The lower level part of the storm fell apart, but satellite images showed the skeleton swirl that was left over. That swirl moved out into the Bay of Campeche, and on June 2nd, the storm reorganized into Tropical Storm Cristobal. The same system took on 2 different names because NOAA differentiates hurricanes basin by basin, so Amanda formed in the Eastern Pacific, lost its tropical characteristics, then reformed in the Atlantic basin and became named Cristobal. It's not unheard of for a so-called crossover storm like that, but it is really unusual to see one so early in the season. Unusually warm water and very calm winds in the upper part of the atmosphere, conditions that are normally seen in late summer or early fall, are what allowed this to happen so early. The early part of Cristobal's life was pretty uneventful. It slowly churned northward into the Gulf of Mexico over the next week. Eventually, it made landfall as a tropical storm in southeast Louisiana on Sunday, June 7th. Over 10 inches of rain fell in parts of the lower Mississippi Basin and the Florida Panhandle. Cristobal maintained tropical depression strength all the way north into eastern Iowa and eventually southern Wisconsin. Actually, the storm set a record even as it lost its tropical stature. On Wednesday, June 10th, Cristobal became the first post-tropical system to cross over Lake Superior. That's the most westward track for such a storm in recorded history. The next name on the list is Dolly. If Dolly were to form in June, it would just be the 3rd time that a D storm has formed that early in the season. That's it for this week's Heather's Weather Wise. I'm taking next week off, but I'll be back in a couple more weeks with a brand new episode. Until then, remember, it's good to be a geek.